All right, folks, listen up. Last week, President Trump announced that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac were going to buy more than $200 billion worth of mortgage bonds. And then I actually saw the next morning on CNBC, the head of the FHFA, well, he says it's actually $225 billion. Now, what does this mean? It means that there's going to be more demand. Now, what does that mean for you? Means cheaper rates. As I'm recording right now, rates are lower than they've been in more than 3 years. And it's free to find out how much money you can save right now. But if you've been on the fence waiting for better rates, this could be the second chance you've been looking for, especially if you bought a house or if you've got an interest rate in the fives. It's not a matter of if we can save you money, but a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com. And I'm especially talking to you if you've ran up credit card debt. I know there's been a lot of talk about, can President Trump cap the amount of interest that's paid on credit cards? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But here's what I do know. There's a whole lot of folks who feel stuck making minimum payments at like 22%. You know you can do better than that. If you put Christmas on a credit card, what's it going to be before you actually pay Christmas off? May? June? Stop kicking the can. Keep more of your own money right now. And how's this for starters? No payments for the next 2 months. That's right. You don't have to make a payment in February or in March. You're done until April. And come April, you're going to be saving a whole boatload of cash. Find out how much money you can save for free. $500, $600, $700, $800 a month. Just last week, we helped a family save more than $1,000 a month, and you can start saving cash today. Again, there's no cost, no obligation, and if we can't save you some cash, we won't waste your time. Let us run the numbers, see if it makes sense. If it doesn't, we'll part friends. But we're not the bank. We don't say no, we say not yet, but here's how. We got to get a plan, and we want to be your mortgage advisor for life. You've got a friend in the mortgage business, savewithconrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender, savewithconrad.com, or send me an email, conrad@savewithconrad.com.
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett for Starrcade, 605 NWA. TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team. Turner, Bonnet, Mid-South Joint World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North, they win. Look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off, center stage, Bischoff. Disney, Hogan, and Nitro. New World Order and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette, Champ, Vinnie, Matt, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan. Thompson's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a chair. Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when? WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Welcome back to another episode of What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, how are you?
Good, Conrad. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. There's a lot of cold weather out there. You staying warm?
Yeah, about as warm as I can be. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we want to send our love to everybody that's affected by the cold weather. And I'll tell you this, Tony, would you consider yourself to be a very observant person that really pays attention to what's going on around you?
Yes, and I'm also a person that really doesn't give a shit about what's going on around me, too.
Well, that's pretty good because you should know you're not talking to Conrad Thompson right now. You're talking to Brad Steele of Elite's Wrestling Conversation, who has gotten some traction on social media the last couple of weeks for imitating Conrad Thompson. What say you?
Well, I think you're about as ugly as he is, so I think it all works.
Thank you so much, Brad, for jumping on with us. This was a lot of fun. I can't tell you how many people have jumped in my DMs to say, have you seen this, with your various impressions? And I thought, hey, this will be fun for Tony's show. So making time for us tonight really means a lot. Thanks, dude.
Hey, man, I appreciate you asking me to do it. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, Brad. You're a good man.
Tell everybody again, Brad, how they can find you on the various social platforms.
Elites Wrestling Conversation, ELEETS Wrestling Conversation, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm also a singer-songwriter. You can find me at Brad Steele on all streaming platforms. And if you're into the NFL, particularly the Tennessee Titans, we need all the we need all the help we can get. So Two-Tone Talk Podcast, I covered the Titans. And I appreciate you having me on. And Mr. Tony Schiavone, you literally narrated my childhood. And so it's an honor to get to talk to you for a second.
Brad, that's very nice of you to say. Can we go back to that slide once again? Who is that guy between the Brad and the Steel?
Somebody that was a lot more clean shaven than I am currently.
Holy smokes. Man, you cleaned up very, very well back then.
Well, that was about 8 years ago. So
okay.
That explains a lot, doesn't it?
All right.
I appreciate it, man.
Greatly
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
Hi, Brad. Thanks for being with us.
You guys have a good one. Bye.
All right. How about that?
Yeah, Tony, obviously, normally you're in the loop on all this, but I thought, hey, this would be a fun little surprise. I don't know if you've seen his conversations with Bret Hart or Triple H. He basically does an impression of them and of me.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people, from Paul Walter Hauser to so many others, who've sent it to me saying, hey, have you seen this? So I thought, this would be fun for Tony. So thanks for being a good sport. And I hope you're still a good sport, because we're not done with the surprises. Every now and again, we like to have fun on this program. And in order to have fun, you think of one man, and his name is Efren. I did my best, Efren. How did I do?
Yeah, great. I thought it was the other guy. That's how good you were.
Oh, there you go.
You call me ugly, Mr. Schiavone. You and I are going to go a couple rounds. Welcome, everybody, to Professional Wrestling's #1 game show. This is the Game Event Throwback Edition as we go back to Starrcade 2025. Before we look ahead to this Saturday's shindig in Atlanta, Tony and Conrad, this is one of the questions that sent 10 people at Starrcade to All Out later last year. Here we go. We're going to go back and forth with you guys, so every one of you is going to get a chance to answer. Tony, we're going to start with you. I surveyed 100 wrestling fans. Top 5 answers are on the board. Got to find the most popular answer. Here's the question. Name something weird that a fan has asked you to autograph. Tony Schiavone.
They're back.
They're back. Show me their back.
What the?
Conrad.
Their boob.
We want to, well, I don't want to see, but show me boobs. #1 answer, Conrad.
Right. There. See? Look at there.
4 more, Tony. Next.
Okay.
Something weird that a fan has asked you to autograph.
Their forehead.
Their forehead.
Oh, good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
Show me forehead. No.
What the flying?
Tell me about that, Tony. When was that? And how many times?
Once in Scotland.
Wow.
Yeah.
That explains it.
I used a ballpoint pen and I just dug it fucking in. Okay.
I'm going to go with arm.
Arm. If arm is there, you need 3 more. If not, second strike. Arm.
Wait, I didn't get a strike.
Well, we're just going back and forth.
Team. Okay.
All right, here, I'll take it away. There we go.
Oh, Christ.
Arm. There's your first strike, Conrad. We'll call it 1 each.
Asshole.
Tony.
Their penis.
Oh. Oh.
I would sign that.
See, I knew that was all yours. So to speak.
Show me penis. Running out of parts here, guys.
All right. How about,
Conrad.
I mean, I don't know if I'm thinking what you're thinking, Efren, but I'm thinking butt.
If butt is there, you need 3 more. If
It's not butt. It's butt.
third strike. Show me butt.
Come
Number
on.
2.
Come on. Going in fucking order 2 over here.
Oh, God.
Tony.
Yeah. I'm going to say their shirt, T-shirt.
That's pretty
Their
good.
shirt. If shirt is there, you need two more. If not, third strike. Shirt. Conrad, save the board. What do you
This
got?
fucking game is fucking rigged.
I'm gonna go with baby. Have them sign their baby like that movie.
If baby is there, you have saved the board. If not, the game is over. Their baby. There it is.
In fucking order. Come on, get like me, Schiavone.
Come on, Schiavone. Something weird that a fan has asked you to autograph. You need two more.
Okay.
Oh,
Either of you.
they're prosthetic.
Wow.
If prosthetic is there, you need one more. If not, the game is over. They're prosthetic. No.
Thanks, Conrad, you stupid son of a bitch.
Number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Underwear.
Number 5.
Toilet seat.
As
You ever
you would-
signed underwear, Tony?
No, I've never signed underwear, and I've never seen anybody come to a match with a toilet seat.
I don't think you've seen much of anything with that backyard hillbilly internet you got. You haven't moved in minutes. You're just frozen like Jeff Jarrett in 2000.
Guys, this Saturday night.
Now he's all digitized and taking over. We got poltergeist coming from Atlanta. But in the meantime, while Silva mutes Schiavone and we figure out what the hell's going on, tell everybody what we're going to be doing this weekend in Atlanta, friend.
Conrad, this Saturday night is the $10,000 game event. One top guy from adfreeshows.com is going to have a 1 out of 30 shot to win $10,000 during the Royal Rumble. We have a huge second prize that we haven't even announced yet. Memorabilia, cash, so many surprises we haven't told you. There's one place to be in the entire world to watch the Royal Rumble, and it's not in Saudi Arabia. It's in Atlanta. Become a top guy. You still have time. Sign up for an annual membership, adfreeshows.com. Someone in that room is going to have a shot to win $10,000 at the game event. I will see you this Saturday, part of Eric Bischoff's Power Plant Weekend. I can't wait, guys. Conrad, thank you so much. Have a great show. I will see you this weekend.
Thanks so much, man. That was fantastic. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks to Efren for putting together that game. How fun was that, Tony?
That was great stuff, man, as always. Good stuff. Efren needs to go to Hollywood and try out to be a host of a game show.
I low-key pitched some AEW people on having him be a part of the pre-show experience. Like when doors open before you guys have, the show start, you've got some dead time while people are finding their seats and stuff. Imagine him running games and giving fans merchandise and upgrading tickets and stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Something else that's fun is knowing that we're taking good care of our dogs. Before we get going, we've got a very special guest today, but Better Wild is probably mine and Tony's favorite guest. It's something in mind for our dogs. And I have to admit, I didn't know that when your dog is like itching or scratching their ears or licking their paws or shaking their head, I just thought, hey, that's just dog stuff. No, it's not. It's actually signs of allergies. And you see allergies in dogs flare up when bad bacteria takes over the gut, because 90% of your dog's immune system lives in their gut. And just like humans, dogs need probiotics or good bacteria to strengthen their gut health and calm an overactive immune system. That's why Tony and I both use Better Wild Allergy Soft Relief Chews. This is a supplement designed to support your pet's allergy defense system by strengthening their digestion. They're the first and only chews that use the ancestral Advantage Wolf probiotics derived from your dog's mighty ancestor, the wolf. Better Wild actually has 4 key ingredients. You got that premium blend of Wolf probiotics. You've also got L-Seiki, and you've got colostrum and salmon oil. All 4 of those are going to give you everything you need. Something to reduce itchiness and redness, something that is a probiotic and a postbiotic. How about something that fights your inflammation and boosts your immune system, but also healthy support for skin and fur? So I'm a big believer in this product. All of my dogs have benefited, especially my oldest dog, Ginger. As long as I've known her, she scratched her ears and licked her paws. 2 months with Better Wild, she's not doing that anymore. Better Wild is really committed to helping your dog with science-backed, veterinarian-approved solutions that you can feel good about. So go check them out. Better Wild is offering our listeners up to 40% off when you order at betterwild.com/WHW. That's betterwild.com/WHW for up to 40% off your order. betterwild.com/WHW. And Tony, we're doing something kind of fun today. We've got a very special guest, and I think this may actually be a guest you've never met before. Do I have that right?
Yes, I think so. You are right, Conrad. And well, actually, the first guest I'd never met before either. So,
Well,
yeah.
we're just making a lot of new friends today. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome to the program the author of a brand new book that I can't wait to read. I know you're going to enjoy it. It's called Beneath the Skirt. Ladies and gentlemen, one half of the Headbangers, Chaz Warrington. Chaz, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, it's so awesome for you to be here. Thank you so much for all the time today. We're excited for this.
No, thank you. I'm excited to be here. But before we get started, I have a question. You said you and Tony take the Better Wild. You meant you'd give it to your dogs. You don't actually take it, right?
I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
But yes, we are ordering it.
Check.
Yes. But I mean, listen, I can't say that it's bad for you. I mean, I love a healthy skin and fur, you know,
Listen,
like I want to improve
it sounds great. And you look like by your face, you need it all. You need that for your fur. So, you know,
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I'm not judging. Judge-free zone here. I just wanted to ask that question. That's all.
No, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
There's not as much fur around as there used to be.
No?
Years go by.
Oh,
Used to be a lot of fur around. But
Okay.
now, yeah.
Fair enough.
Not as much.
Well, Chaz, tell us about your new book and what fans can expect. I mean, I have to admit, I was a huge Headbangers fan when I was in high school, and I kind of got back into wrestling in 1996. So I was probably at my peak fandom when the Headbangers were on one heck of a run. And to know that you guys held the tag team titles at the same time as, you know, the Road Warriors and the New Age Outlaws and Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold and Mick Foley and Stone Cold and, you know, Davey and the Bulldog. I mean, there's so many greats. It was just a really fun time for a lot of fans. I know they're going to love your book.
So the book is basically my career from when I started in a Monster Factory in June of 93 till my contract with WWE expired in 2002. It talks about when I first walked into the ring, the first match I had 3 weeks into training against Adam Bomb and Papa Shango. Then it goes on the road when Glenn and I, as the Spiders, went to Memphis, kind of what we went through there. And then from there to Arkansas with Burt Prentice, to Smoky Mountain, which was the birth of the Headbangers, all the way through, like I said, everything I went through with Beaver Cleavage, Glenn being hurt, me being given a bunch of different gimmicks and storylines and things like that. That's what it's about. So wrestling fans, you know, Conrad, you were able to watch it unfold on TV. So it's kind of the behind the scenes of what I was thinking, what I was going through, insecurities I had, some things I may have done a little bit differently, things I didn't know that were like ideas and opportunities that were presented to me. So I get pretty vulnerable in the book, but it's kind of just the behind the scenes of what the struggles that I had, the struggles that Glenn and I had together. So like I said, you saw what happened on TV. This is showing you, this is me telling you what was going on in my head, kind of behind the scenes of what was going on as you were seeing everything unfold on TV.
And Charles, there were great tag teams in Smoky Mountain Wrestling during that era when you were there.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that was really, you know, I know that Tracy Smothers, Rock and Roll Express were there. Terry Gordy was all part of it. So talk about that time at Smoky Mountain.
Smoky was actually a huge learning time for us. A lot of great lessons. You know, like you said, Ricky and Robert were at Rock and Roll Express. Heavenly Bodies were there. We had Tracy and Dirty White Boy and Al Snow and Kane as Unabomb were there. And it was just a great learning experience. It was a great environment. Everyone wanted to help everyone out. They all wanted to help everyone get better. And, you know, we went there as we were wrestling as the Spiders before then with the mask, and Cornette called us up and he said, listen, I'd love to bring you guys in, but I don't like the masks. And I have this idea. Want to present it to you and see if you guys, you know, like it. If you like it, you know, I want to bring you guys in. And at that point, we were working for Burt Prentice in Arkansas, lucky to make $4 or $5 a night. So when Cornette offered us $75 a night, we jumped all over it. And then, you know, Smoky Mountain was another gateway into WWE back then. So, and it just the idea of the Headbangers and what he gave us, it was just an opportunity for us to grow as a tag team and figure something else out and do something different, but was relevant at the same time. That you know, the alternative music, the heavy metal music was just really starting to come to the forefront. So it was a chance for us to capitalize on that and have an opportunity to take off. And just the learning we got from them, you know, Ricky and Robert pulling us aside, you know, talking to us after we had a match, whether it was with them or not with them, everyone watched and you got lots of advice and feedback from everyone.
Well, we're excited to have Chaz with us here today. I hope everybody has a chance to check out his book. It's available now anywhere you enjoy books, and I think you can even get it on Amazon right now, isn't that right?
You can get it on Amazon. You can go to my website, chazmosh.com. If you want a signed autograph, you go there. It's out on Kindle exclusively on Amazon, but there's paperback, there's the hardback now. So chazmosh.com, amazon.com, go there and get it. But again, if you want it autographed, you want me to sign it, you got to go through chazmosh.com.
Check it out.
I don't know. Let me ask you, I know a lot of people live their gimmicks. You really love heavy metal. That's your jam?
Yeah, so I like a variety of music. You can go all the way down to Billy Joel, some classical music I listen to. It kind of depends on my mood or the mood I'm trying to get into.
Right.
But growing up, I'd go over to the bank in Philly with friends of mine. We would stage dive. I was in mosh pits. So when Cornette presented the idea to us, I knew exactly what he was talking about. Yeah, so I like that music. Like I said, it's a variety, but yeah, I do enjoy that.
Well, we're going to have some fun tonight. We greatly appreciate you making time to join us. And thanks to our friends over at classicwrestling.net. I think we've got some really classic matches from your history. I think one of the first ones we're going to be watching are you wrestling Gigolo Johnny Knight for Dennis Carluzzo on September 11th, 1993 in New Jersey. Any chance you even remember this one?
Oh, yeah. So that was actually what I would consider my very first real match.
Oh, wow.
Up to that point, I started in June of 93. So up to that point, I had done maybe 4 or 5 TV squash matches with WWE, WWF back then. And this was like my first real match. Craig, Gigolo Johnny Knight, his real name's Craig. Craig actually, him and I started at the Monster Factory at the same time. So we trained all summer together. So this was our first match of 3. We did a little trilogy match. And the funny story about the whole thing is that Craig, I lived 15 minutes from the school, from the Monster Factory. Craig lived in Ohio. And the very last match, Larry Sharp, who owned the Monster Factory, sat us down and said, so we're going to have a loser leaves town match tonight. And he slides 2 stacks of tickets across the table. He said, whoever sells the most tickets stays. Whoever doesn't, you know, sorry, but, you know, you're the loser. You got to leave town. Wow. And Craig looked at him and goes, that's not really fair. Chaz lives here and he sells like 40, 50 tickets a night. And Larry just kind of shrugged his shoulders and says, well, I don't know what to tell you, but you go sell some tickets.
Wow.
Yeah. It was harsh, but I was like, I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
Yeah. Tony, you ever heard of something like that in wrestling before?
No, never have ever heard anything like that.
That was that was the thing for Larry. It was like, you know, just sell tickets. He didn't care. And if you sold tickets, you know, you got a little push. So yeah.
How about that?
Well, let's take a look, man. I'm excited to see this one. This is a throwback. Chaz thinks this is his first like real match, September 11th, 1993. Let's take a look.
Oh, geez. I don't know what to expect. I want to know where this was found from. Oh my goodness.
ClassicWrestling.net. You can watch their entire library and use our promo code Conrad30. Save yourself 30% off at sign up. That's ClassicWrestling.net. Tell us about this building as best you can recall.
So this building was called the Route 30 Mart, and it was basically like a flea market. and you walked in, and there was you were in the food court. There was like a little pizza place there we used to eat at all the time. It was basically kind of like, the best way to describe it, I describe it in my book. The best way, I guess, to describe it is the thrift store of thrift stores. Like the thrift stores would come here to buy clothes to sell in the thrift stores. I've never been in a place that sold like used underwear, used bras. Yeah, it was interesting. But Larry, this is where the school was. So in the ring right there is where I first started. I trained, had my tryout there. This was the school as well. So Larry ran shows once a month. He would bring in, outside, he brought in Abdul the Butcher, Jerry Lawler came in. He brought in a lot of guys. And so this was it. It was in the back of the flea market, and it would pack like 200-300 people. And they were fun shows, especially since, I was local and all my friends and buddies came and obnoxiously yelled, which made it better.
So how old are you here?
So this was 93. So I was 22. Yeah, 22. So the funny part with this is, so Craig, Gigolo Johnny Knight, he's supposed to be a stripper. He's actually wearing Glenn's thong because he didn't actually have a thong, and they told him to be a gigolo. And you'll see kind of the funny part coming up in a second or two.
So how nervous are you to do your first real match like this? If it is in the same ring, in the same building with friends and family, does that help, or are you still just a ball of nerves that night?
No, I was a ball of nerves. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm kind of just walking around trying not to look lost and stupid. There's the funny part. The sock flew out of his thong.
Oh my God.
He was stuffed.
That's hilarious.
Oh, and that wasn't by design.
Well, he knew it was, we knew it was stuffed.
Right on the rope. What a great spot that was.
We knew because it was baggy, because it wasn't his thong, it was Glenn's. And so Glenn told him to stuff it, and then Glenn told me to go down for a single leg and pull it and make it pop out.
Oh,
yeah. So it was a rib on him, but yeah. No, I was nervous as hell. I had no idea what I was doing. And yeah, I have no idea what I was doing. And that's the best way to describe this, just to kind of go through the motion.
Well, you weren't the first, my friend. I want to say that in your singlet there, you're very ruggedly handsome.
Thank
Who knew, right? Who knew that you would end up as one of the headbangers and in skirts, and you just never know, man.
Skirts, face paint, bras. I mean, you name it, I wear it. I didn't care.
Jack, the phone guy, says we just saw the original Mr. Sacco, and I think he was several years ahead of time right there too.
So let me ask you, Chaz, back in those days, you were told, let's say, go 10 minutes, go 15 minutes.
Yes.
Who kept time and who told you to go home? Or you just kind of worked it out in your head?
Well, this match, and then, like I said, we did a trilogy. The first two matches were Broadways. So they were both time limit draws. So I think this one was 10 minutes. I think the second one was 15 minutes.
Right.
So it was kind of just, so the ring announcer sitting down at the front, he was the one kind of letting us know when and giving us our cues to when to go into the finish to make it look like one of us was going to go over, and then the bell rings.
Right. Very cool.
Chaz, I know wrestling has evolved over time. These days, a lot of stuff is planned out far in advance. But once upon a time, as the guys used to say, they would quote unquote call it in the ring. What was the ratio of pre-planned and call it in the ring in 1993?
This match here, probably, I'm going to say 80% of it was called, was planned out.
Yeah.
Maybe his heat was probably not so much called or planned. But because we were training together, we kind of knew what each other could do. And, we would talk about it and figure it out as we were training, and then would sit there with Glenn and try and piece it together. It's a lot of walking nervous energy going on around in the ring.
Yeah, I can see that, and there's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw this match on tape?
Probably 3 days after I did it.
Wow.
No, okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
not something I didn't even know this was still around and existed. Like, this is amazing.
Well, you can see this and a whole lot of other great stuff that nobody thought was still around at classicwrestling.net. Use that promo code Conrad30.
I'm amazed they sell used underwear at these flea markets.
I didn't find it.
Popular these days.
I didn't find any that were signed though. None were signed. That were signed. I was going through the list, and I was like, "Oh, I've done that. I've done that. I've done that.
Mhm.
Never." And the last two I've never done.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never had the underwear.
James Elkerai is with us, and he wants to know: is there a match or moment when you guys felt like you "quote unquote" got over and started to belong with all the others on the roster? I think that's probably a fair question. A lot of people wonder, "Hey, am I going to be able to make it? Am I going to stack up? Am I going to be good enough?" Was there a moment where you were like, "Oh, okay, we got it"?
Well, the cool part for us was when we went up, when we signed our first contract, it was a part-time contract. But before then, that was in November of 96. And like I said, I started in June of 93. July of 93, I was in the ring, WWF getting beat up in a squash match. So Glenn and I, for the first 3.5 years of my wrestling career, we were going up and doing jobs and getting squash. So the guys in the locker room already kind of knew us.
I got you.
You know, and then, you know, the Heavenly Bodies were there. They knew us, you know, Glenn was friends with Candido back then. So when we went up, they knew us. So we kind of, you know, knew a lot of guys. But the really cool part was our very first match that we had as the Headbangers under that part-time contract. When we got done, the Godwins were actually standing there and came over and shook our hands and said, "Hey, you know, you guys are really good. This is going to be fun. You know, we're really looking forward to working with you."
Wow.
And then Brett came over and kind of pulled us aside and gave us a couple of tips, like right off the bat. So we kind of felt like we belonged right away.
That's great.
But I don't think that would have happened though if we weren't going up there all those years and just doing jobs and putting those guys over. I think that had a lot to do with it.
You said you had a part-time contract. What did that mean back then? Did that mean just got a per appearance? Was that it? Did not get guaranteed money, or how was it back in those days?
No. So what we were told was Vince was tired of the squash matches and just watching, you know, the superstar beat up a little guy. Or a no-name guy, and he wanted to take certain talent and build them up to a certain level, and then have competitive matches for the top guys. Have more competitive matches where, oh my God, like, you know, so and so could win and, you know, or could lose. So that was the deal. So the deal was for us, it was TV. We were guaranteed $500 a night for TV, and we were going to every TV, and they paid our trans. And that was kind of the deal. And then we started getting ourselves over, and then they put us on some house shows. You know, then we got house show money. But yeah, so basically the contract was TV. You go to TV, you put somebody over, you get yourself over, and then, you know, you put everyone else over. That was kind of the start of it. That was the idea, that the part-time deal. And that's when they had TL Hopper, Freddie Joe Floyd, all those, the Goon. That's what all those guys were supposed to be. And out of all of the guys on the part-time contract, Glenn and I were the only ones that ended up signing full-time.
Hear all these great stories in Chaz's new book. You can go to, is it MOSH Chaz?
Chaz MOSH.
Chaz MOSH. There we go.
Right.
ChazMosh.com.
ChazMosh.com. You can pick it up there. That was kind of a back bump leg drop right there. It was a new thing I was trying that I never tried again. That was my Magnum TA. I was a big Magnum TA mark growing up, so I had to get the belly to belly in there.
That is what I wanted to ask next is, you know, as a young performer, who are your inspirations to get into the business where you thought, man, that's the life. I want to be that guy.
I mean, my favorites growing up were Macho Man. I loved the Ultimate Warrior. I loved his energy. And then I loved how, like, Magnum TA to me was always just serious. Like, I want to get in the ring and just end the match and get out. You know, back then when he first started, his matches were, you know, 10, 15 seconds long. He hit that belly to belly, it was over. I don't know if there was a real inspiration that made me wanted to get in there. It just so happened I went to a show to watch there, and I kind of just fell into it.
I got you.
Yeah, so I don't know if there was a true, you know, I used to go over to the Spectrum in Philly all the time to watch. I'd go to the Civic Center and I'd watch, and I used to joke with my friends that one day, oh, you'll see me in that ring. So me going down to the school and having this one match was kind of just me saying to them, hey, see, I told you you'd see me in the ring one day.
Right.
And then it kind of just, I think my career was kind of meant to be because it just constantly progress to the next level.
I think the referee has just called a draw here, hasn't he? And then you're getting attacked.
Yeah, there was a draw, and then he attacked me,
Right.
and then it sets up for the October show.
Okay.
So the other really cool part about this night is not only did I have my first match, and I get the pool part. Glenn was actually hurt, and Glenn was wrestling as the Spider, and he was Larry's champion, and so I had to go out in the main event, and they had me put Glenn's gear on with his jacket.
Oh, wow.
And Boy Gone Bad beat me up with a chair and then pinned me, and I got to lose Glenn's belt for him all on the same night.
In your debut, you lost someone else's title. I love that.
Yep, with someone else's mask on too. It was great.
That's amazing.
See, that's how foolish you are when you first start. You just stand in the ring with your hands in the air, looking like a dork, thinking you look cool when you really don't.
Hey man, is your debit card boring? Well, what if you could put like your favorite dog, like Bug, on your Cash App card? They have a personalization feature which allows you to customize your own card. Cash App just revealed a new status program for the new way that people actually spend. It's called Cash App Green. It unlocks new ways for you to pay, get rewarded, and easily grow or even manage your money on your terms. Now, when you spend at least $500 a month with the Cash App card or Cash App Pay, you earn green status, which will unlock benefits like $200 of free overdraft coverage, higher borrow limits, and customized, personalized cashback offers every Friday at places that we know you love to shop. It turns everyday spending into status with Cash App Green. Download Cash App today or visit cash.app/new to learn more about this and other great features that are launching right now. And for a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code CashApp10 in their profile at sign up and then just send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Now, terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Cash App Green, overdraft coverage, borrow, cashback offers, and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Well, let's see how cool we look when it is a totally different look. Up next, we're gonna go to Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
And watch the Headbangers take on Miguel Perez Jr. and Apollo. This is also brought to us by ClassicWrestling.net. Use that promo code Conrad30. So, talk to us about this one, Chaz. Do you remember this one?
I don't know.
You can say no on this program.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't. I mean, I had lots of matches with Miguel and Savio and Jesus. I don't remember this one.
Tell us about wrestling in Puerto Rico.
So when I first went to this was my first trip to Puerto Rico. Now we were with WWE. It was fine. It was fun. When I had to go back near the end of my run before my contract expired, that wasn't so much fun. This was fun because we had a van, we all drove together. They brought a bunch of WWE guys down to help Savio. Get the promotion off the ground. Then they sent us down there to get back into ring shape, and that part just wasn't so much fun.
Would you guess this is probably the 2001 era?
This is probably no. This is before then because Glenn was actually in shape here. So this was probably 98-ish.
Okay.
97, 98. Because
this is good for Puerto Rico, I think.
What's that?
The production looks pretty damn good for Puerto Rico.
It does.
Yeah. Ring is lit very well. You got a steady cam there or a crane cam. Fans are into it. This is pretty cool.
I'm just saying, for late 90s standards, this is really, really good.
It really is.
Yeah, this was before Apollo was like twice
Huge.
the size he is. Yeah. He got ginormous. When I went back in 01, he was twice the size of that.
Tony, have you ever done wrestling in Puerto Rico?
No, I've never been to Puerto Rico.
I can't wait for Chaz to tell you about that because it's wild to me. It feels like you've been everywhere else, Tony, for wrestling, but never Puerto Rico. But Chaz, I'll admit I've been to Puerto Rico before, but never for wrestling. I've been told it's like a wrestling obsessed island. Is that fair to say?
It is, and they take it very seriously. We've had, when I was down there before in 2001, like here we were just baby faces because we were on TV every week.
Right.
But in 2001, when we went and we were heels, D'Lo was down there with me. Pete Gas was there, and they put Pete and I together as a tag team. And we got hit with rocks, 9-volt batteries were thrown at us, chased from the ring. It was awful.
How was it to wrestle Miguel Perez Jr. here? What
It
can you
was
tell us
easy.
about him?
He was easy. He was good. It was a night off, and he actually shaved here.
Yeah, I was noticing that. Like his trademark hairy back, not so
Yeah.
hairy.
His sweater was not on here. He took it off.
It was very Dutch Mantel like.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very George Animal Steel and
Yes.
Prince Albertish.
There you go. We got some more questions coming in for you live here. Coach Rosie says, Chaz, I appreciate how transparent you are. It really helps a lot of people. Jack the phone guy wants to know, what's your favorite Vince McMahon story that fans may not have heard before?
One of my favorite ones with Vince is, so Glenn and I lived in South Jersey. So we were about a 2.5 hour drive, 3 hour drive from Stamford, from the WWE headquarters. And, when we were first new, we liked going up there and hanging out, just we had nothing to do. And yeah, we were like, oh, let's go up to the office. Like, who wants, let's take a 3 hour drive and go to Stamford just to hang out in the office. But we would go into Vince's office, and Beth, his secretary, would let us in, and we'd go in and we literally would rearrange his office. We would rearrange the desk, the chairs. And then one time he got flowers from the USA Network. So we crossed out USA Network and we wrote "From the Headbangers," love the Headbangers on the card. But we'd see him at TV, and he'd come over and he'd laugh and joke about it. And yeah, then I didn't realize at that point how strictly business Vince was, because then when I knew my contract was expiring and I wasn't getting signed, like I said, we used to goof around with Vince and do that. And then once he knew I wasn't being re-signed, he wouldn't even take a phone call. And I was I'll admit I was pretty salty and bitter about it for a while. But then I just realized, that was the business side of WWE. That was Vince. He was all business. As long as you were making money, he would talk to you all day long. But as soon as, he was done with you, he literally was done with you. And that wasn't something that I realized when I was there. That was one of all those years. I never looked at it as a business. I just looked at it as, hey, I'm wrestling, I'm on TV, I'm having a good time. Like, this is fun. And as long as I do whatever's asked of me, then I'll continue to be here. And just different mindset.
So during that period, Chaz, who told you you weren't going to be re-signed? Who gave you that info?
That was actually JR. So what happened was it was 2001. They sent D'Lo, Pete, and I to Puerto Rico, and they were trying to build that up as a developmental territory. And they said, we want you to go down there, get back in the ring shape, and then so we can bring you back up and put you on TV. So we said, fine. So we went down there. The big negative was, this is one of the reasons. It wasn't so much that I didn't like Puerto Rico. It was just the circumstance, I guess, why I was sent there. Because we weren't paid any extra money. So I'm like, so you want me to go to Puerto Rico for however long I'm going to be there? You don't know how long, and I have to find an apartment. Plus, I have mortgage at home. Like, you're living, getting no extra money, but I have to pay 2 sets of bills. But then they brought me back up to Philly to do a dark match, and I went out there, and who I was in the ring with, they ended up getting hurt. So the match literally went like 4 minutes. It didn't go long. And I thought the next night in Baltimore, like I'd get another shot at a dark match, and I wasn't on the card. I wasn't listed. So to get dark match, so I went into JR and I asked him, I said, JR, like, I don't understand. He said to me, he goes, Chaz, he goes, I'll be honest. He goes, you look great. You're in great shape. We know you can work. He goes, but no one knows who Chaz is. And I said, he goes, creative doesn't know who Chaz is. And I'm like, you're right. I said, I don't know who Chaz is. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. I was Headbanger Mosh. Everyone knows Mosh. I'm so why you just don't let me continue to be Mosh. And he's like, no, we want you to be Chaz. And I'm like, well, I'm still trying to figure that out. He goes, you got to figure it out. This was in September of 2001. And he goes, well, figure it out, or when your contract expires in January, we won't be re-signing you unless we can figure out creative can come up with something for you. So that's how I found out.
Yeah, that's very, that's kind of very old school. Vince was kind of always like that back in the day. I know he changed, but he would always give you the good news and would have someone else on their staff give you the bad news. That's
Right.
just the way it was.
Yeah. My favorite part about it all, though, and this is, again, in the book, that I pulled Bruce. Bruce and I were always close. Pritchard. Bruce and I were always close. I always got along with him really well, and I trusted him. Like, I felt like I could be more open and honest with him than I could with JR. And I went up to Bruce. I was like, "What the fuck? Like, I don't know. What do I do here?" And he said, "Just watch the program." He's like, "Send in ideas." He goes, "Try to find like where you could fit in a storyline or in a program." He said, and then we can try to run with it from there. So that's what I did. And there was a couple ideas I sent in, and then I watched them unfold on TV with other people. And I went, "Oh,
Thanks.
wow." So the next idea I sent in, I said, maybe you should hire me as a writer. Hire me as a writer then. But that didn't work out either. So, I have no regrets, but I just, years later and looking back on it, there was different opportunities I had that I just didn't capitalize on that I probably could have. And I just, again, for the longest time, I just thought, hey, if I keep my nose clean, if I don't get in trouble and I do what I'm asked, I'll be here for life. Again, not looking at it, I guess I looked at it as like a regular job. If you do what you're supposed to do and you're asked, you're always going to have a job.
Right.
Well, I can't wait to check out your book, and we greatly appreciate you spending some time with us here today. We've got one last match we're going to watch that I think is going to be kind of fun. All right, fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt gold-plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand, and this ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue, and it works in as little as just 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. We're talking elevation without hesitation, peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. Ladies, if you're listening, send your man the link and make him a trophy husband with Blue Chew Gold. Make your life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with the promo code WHW. That's promo code WHW. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast. We've got the Headbangers against Sean Waltman and Billy G. Yes, you know him once upon a time as Billy Gunn, but I don't think he was able to be called that at this point in IWA Puerto Rico. This also has a special run-in from Sean Morley, who we used to know as Val Venus. So it should be fun taking a look at some old school Puerto Rico here.
Listen to the fans. Wow, what a response, man. The bell hasn't even sounded.
You guys got to run a show there, Tony.
Well, I don't book them, you son of a bitch. I have to be honest with you, there was discussions about it. I don't know how serious it was, but there have been discussions about us running so many places. Who knows?
Billy's so easy to work. It's ridiculous.
He's the man.
When you're all, former WWE stars and you're in Puerto Rico like this, how's your reception compared to other markets you would have visited?
I think we were still under contract here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this was when we went down there. It was just a different show, different matches. I think this is when we all went. They always had us in vans, and we all went out. And because of Sean was in Puerto Rico for so long, he knew all the cool spots for us to go and hang out at night. So there wasn't. If I remember correctly, there was not a lot of sleep going on.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I'll leave it simple. Yeah, Billy's just amazing. I love him to death.
Yeah, so do I. He's one of my favorite. I mean, really, didn't get to work with him obviously until AEW started, but man,
right. He's probably one of the most gifted athletes I've ever been in a ring with.
Right.
We did a charity basketball game. I think it was in Long Island, New York, and it was against like a AAA like semi-pro team or something. And Glenn and I in our skirt and on our combat boots, and not really trying to do anything. And Billy was yelling at everybody about, let's go, we need to try harder. And Billy's sinking 3-point shots and dunking balls on these guys. And we're all just sitting there like, just give the ball to Billy, because if you miss, he's going to yell at you. He's going to get mad at you, and then he's going to beat you up.
Chaz, I don't know how much you've seen him on TV lately. He was on the show Saturday on Collision. He still looks amazing for his age.
Yeah, he's when I run into him, I say to him all the time, I'm like, I said, how come every time I see you, you seem to get bigger?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
Jack, the phone guy, has something I didn't know, and maybe this isn't even accurate, but he wants to know, is it true you played outfield for the nationally ranked Fort Lauderdale professional kickball team, the Meatballs? If so, any insights you can give us on professional kickball?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it professional kickball. I mean, I still play. It was one of those things I started doing on Friday nights just to get out of the house and go to the bar and hang out. But I ended up on the Meatballs, and yes, we won 4 national championships. I've won 7 altogether. My Meatball team, we went on like a 3.5-year run where we didn't lose, and those national championships paid us $10,000. The team got 10 grand, and then other tournaments. I calculated over those 3.5 years that we won close to like $60,000 as a team.
That's awesome.
It's there's a lot more strategy to playing kickball than people would ever think, and it's a lot harder. We had our pitcher was clocked at like 65 miles an hour. I play with a guy right now who's a left-handed pitcher. He used to be on the Cleveland Indians. He was on there. He played minor league ball for the Cleveland Indians, and then he had Tommy John surgery, never got his velocity back, but like he's an amazing athlete. It's funny because you see these fat, out of shape guys drinking beer and like kicking bombs out of a ball. Like you would never think they had any athleticism whatsoever. But yeah, no, I love playing. It gets me out. It's something different. It's fun.
What a great fucking story. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's it's funny. I've been all over the United States. I probably have more injuries from kickball than I do wrestling also.
Wow. Now that's a line.
I was running the bases, and they threw the ball at me, and I jumped over it, and I had like the perfect landing on my left foot where I had a grade 3 sprain on all 3 sides of my ankle and 2 hairline fractures going up my shin.
Jesus.
Stupid. But so much fun.
Dave McClay's with us, and he wants to know, who is the dream tag team from any era you wish you could have wrestled?
Demolition's one. Midnight Express is the other one. We were actually scheduled to do an indie show against Demolition, and then COVID happened.
Oh,
man. And it didn't, and it just never happened. But yeah, Demolition would be one. Midnight Express would be another one. How I'd love to go back and somehow work Ivan Koloff and work them. Just and any of the old school tag teams to me would have been the best. Yeah, I'd love working today. Like the New Day would be great to work a match with them. Yeah, that's probably the list.
We're gonna put you on the spot, Dennis or Stan?
Stan.
Yeah. Tony, were you a Dennis guy or a Stan guy?
No, I was a Dennis guy. And listen, I like Stan a lot. But Dennis is where I started, right? I mean, when I was doing the old TBS stuff in 85 and 86, I mean, that's the Midnight Express, right? And
yeah.
And I've told so many stories about how, I would be doing an interview with Jim Cornette, and Dennis and Bobby would be fucking with me at the same time, throwing my papers on the floor, stepping on my foot, trying to hump me from behind, stuff like that. So it always will be Dennis with me.
The introduction to me for like the rock and roll, and I'll never forget, I had a TV for Christmas one year, and the next year I got a VCR. And the first thing I did when I got the VCR was I ran to the video store to rent wrestling tapes. And I think it was a Starrcade match, and it was a scaffold match. And I think that was Starrcade, but that was like my introduction to like Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express up till then, because I was in the Northeast. All I saw was WWF stuff. Right. I never saw any of the, the NWA or WCW stuff back in the day. So those were the opening matches for me to be able to see.
Well, man, I can't wait for people to check out the book. I can't wait. I've already downloaded it. I'm going to dig into it this weekend. The name of the book is called Beneath the Skirt. Chaz Warrington telling his entire story. You get to hear how it all started, from Larry Sharp to ECW to the USWA to Smoky Mountain, and of course, all the fabulous WWF headbanger stories. What a career and what a story. You can get it autographed right now at chazmosh.com. You can also find it paperback, hardcover. You can even get it on your Kindle. But if you want the autograph too, the place to go is chazmosh.com. Chaz, thanks for all the time today, man. This was a blast.
No, thank you for having me. I'd appreciate it. And Tony, it's nice finally meet you.
Same here, Chaz. Thanks, man. You have a very Nikita Koloff look about you in your older age now.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It's nice to meet you too, Chaz. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Listen, I appreciate you guys having me on. This means a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And Conrad, when you get reading, let me know what you think.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
Can't wait. Thanks again, man.
No problem. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Tony, how fun was that? You know, a lot of our listeners, they look back so fondly on the Attitude Era, and we just had one of its unsung heroes. You know, you look at the tag team title lineage from when they were hot and they were on top and they won the titles. I mean, they rubbed elbows with some of the biggest names in the history of wrestling, and to know that he worked in all those different territories, this is going to be a fantastic book, I think, Tony.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stories out there that we don't know about, that we've never heard before. I think the story about Mr. McMahon and rearranging his office is very, very cool, and how,
Yes.
you know, how he liked them and then all of a sudden wouldn't take their call. That's vintage stuff that many of us who worked in the WWE knew about. Yeah, I love the stories, and you know, some of the greatest stories I've said so many times. Some of the best stories are told, and when you travel in a car with the guys, and I mean, they obviously went. You know, they were working back when they worked the house shows. A lot of great stories from that.
Yeah, be sure to check out the book one more time. It's called Beneath the Skirt. You can get it autographed even at chazmosh.com. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go press the button on my Kindle as soon as we finish recording. That's my era, man. I know that a lot of our listeners prefer the older stuff. You and I had a blast watching like 1986 in particular, but I think my peak years were probably 89 and 97. And when I think of the 1997 tag team scene, you think about a returning LOD, and you think about, you know, how the New Age Outlaws were about to become a thing at the turn of the year. But you also think about Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin. You think about Stone Cold and Mick Foley as Dude Love. These are just iconic characters, you know, Davey Boy and Owen Hart, and there's just so many. And then the Headbangers are right in there. So be sure to check out the book. I'm sure it's great. And I'll talk to you all about it next week. chazmosh.com is where you can find it autographed. But right now, Tony, we're way overdue. We've got to take a quick commercial break here. We'll be right back after these words.
You got enemies, maybe people you just don't like. Well, Doodoo Dave will put doodoo on anything they got. Their house, their car, their small pet, their shoes. For just $35, you can get Doodoo Dave to cover anything you want in doodoo. That's right, fresh doodoo. I don't know where it comes from. I'm not asking, and Dave ain't telling. Doodoo Dave, get it covered in doodoo today.
Who's the loser here? The person that gets to doo-doo, or Dave who has to scoop it up all day?
Well, listen, I don't want to besmirch the good goddamn name of an advertiser. We want to welcome Doo-Doo Dave as a new sponsor here on What Happened When, and I hope that you will keep Doo-Doo Dave in mind anytime you need some doo-dooing to be done. Think of Doo-Doo Dave. And Tony, I don't know, but I think during the break I got a note from our crack producer that there's a picture that you want to show me. Can you kind of explain what we're going to be taking a look at here, Tony?
Yeah, I'm going to be making an appearance with One Fall Wrestling.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and it has to do with an event coming up in Rome.
Oh, my gosh. I'm excited about this. I heard all about it.
Yeah, because it's going to celebrate, obviously, the career of Arn Anderson. And, you know, once again, pat on the back to to QT Marshall for putting this
Yes.
together, and he's really knows what he's doing. And I know you work for One Fall Wrestling. I subbed for you, last week.
I heard that. I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear the show,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, it's almost I almost was as clueless as I am on AEW, but I was pretty clueless about the guys working. The branding was great, but I'll be there, and it'll be a VIP experience. And as I mentioned before, that I'm going to have something special for all the VIPs. So we hope fans will be there. And Dave, do you have that picture? Boom, that you can put it up.
I want to mention not only will Tony Schiavone be there for Arn Anderson Appreciation Night, but so will Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, wow.
And the rumor and innuendo is there's even going to be a solid steel cage on hand.
Holy shit.
Pulling out all the stops in Rome. Be sure to check out 1FW Live. Of course, if you were a member of the WHW Patreon or one of our top guys at adfreeshows.com, you would have been invited to our spectacular event planned for this weekend. It's going to be a big weekend for a lot of reasons. You heard at the top of the show, Efren is going to give someone a chance to win $10,000. We're also going to be debuting a documentary you've never seen before anywhere else. We're going to have promo class with Jeff Jarrett, Tony Schiavone, and David Crockett. And yes, you're going to actually get to film a promo on the set of what looks like the TBS set with Tony Schiavone and David Crockett wearing their best JCP blazers and holding the microphones. I'm even bringing the real big gold belt. So this is a once-in-a-life opportunity to do that and play some games and a whole lot of fun stuff. We're even going to do a little bus tour, Tony, of Atlanta. Eric Bischoff is going to guide us through Atlanta, show us all the important buildings and the behind-the-scenes of WCW. We've got some really fun stuff planned, and we finish it off with a fantastic 1FW live television taping. It's going to be a blast this weekend in Atlanta, Tony. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's see if the bus can come by the house and feed the dogs. You think so?
I'm for it. If you want a busload of us slapdicks just pouring in to fuck with Lois, you want to talk about a moment. If you did that and we didn't tell Lois,
oh my God,
can you imagine? It would be one for the ages for us. Now you would have to live with it for at least 3 months.
Yeah. Is that bus tour going to be on Saturday?
Sunday.
All right, on Sunday. All right. Yeah, that would be. That would probably end up being the worst Sunday of my life, and I've had some pretty bad ones here at the house. So
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to write in the group chat where lunch is. Don't say it out loud. Right. But I wonder if that's close to you or if that's something.
It's not close to me, but that's a great place. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, I knew that folks would have fun there.
Yeah. It's, buddy, you talking about great desserts. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's owned by a Greek family. It's just, you're going to eat a lot of food there, boys. You really are.
We're going to have a lot of fun, and I know that fans are going to be having a lot of fun with what we've got planned in the coming weeks, Tony. You and I have been working on our 2026 podcast schedule. We've got all of our episodes mapped out. We're going to be watching a lot of great Ring of Honor and a lot of really obscure stuff. Like, how about that, Tony? We were able to show Chaz his very first match, and he hasn't seen it since he had the first match 30 some odd years ago. That was really cool.
That was cool. I love seeing and listening to the reaction of some of these guys and girls we have on here, reacting to seeing themselves their first match, because a lot of wrestlers, when they have their first match, they don't want to see it again, right? Because they think, oh man, I was terrible back then. I just let it lie in the past. And then we bring it up, and it's interesting to see their reaction. So really cool having him on here, and hopefully we'll do more like that.
Really looking forward to it. We've got the full calendar mapped out. We've got some commitments from some great people who are going to be joining us in the future, including friend of the show, D'Lo Brown. We'll be watching another Attitude Era guy and some of his old school stuff. I know that he's been doing some work with Maple Leaf Pro, and I think Maple Leaf Pro has some shows coming up with Ring of Honor. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more. But, Tony, in the not too distant future, AEW is going to be taking a trip down under. And I think you may have actually coordinated a pretty special guest for us in the coming weeks.
Well, it's actually coming up next week. I actually booked it today, and I'm very excited about it. And Conrad, I know you're very excited about it. And why not? This is one of the most, if not the most entertaining and talented people that I've ever been around in my life. And it's a person that everybody backstage loves. a person that has worked very hard. And we are going to have with us next week on this program one half of the Babes of Wrath. Harley Cameron will join us here on What Happened When.
Come on now. What a
about
big
that?
announcement that is, dude.
Man, Harley Cameron next week. Wanted to get her right before we went to Australia, which would have been the following Monday, the 9th, but she couldn't do the 9th because she was on a plane. But Harley will be on here with us next week. And Conrad, you saw her on stage in St. Louis during the comedy tour.
Unbelievable.
Just absolutely stole the show. And she can sing. She's a ventriloquist. She can, that's it, right? She can wrestle.
Hey, do you remember the Dos Equis guy commercials back in the day?
Mm-mm.
All right. So they had this handsome gray haired dude wearing a suit, and they would give like this fake fucking backstory about how he does this and he does this, and he is the most interesting man in the world. And he would always drink Dos Equis.
Oh, okay.
Harley Cameron is the most interesting woman in the world.
Yes. On many, many levels.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it just I just can't wait. And I don't know. Should we let her go? Or should I?
Oh yeah, we should let her go. I mean, Coach Rosie's already wanting to know. I hope she tells her foreskin story.
Oh God.
I mean, there's so much. I don't want to get people too excited, but let me just go ahead and tell you, mark it down on your calendars. You don't want to miss next week's What Happened When. It's going to be unbelievable. Tony Schiavone is going to be welcoming in Harley Cameron. And if you're down under, you don't want to miss these guys in person. Go grab your tickets in advance of AEW heading your way at AEWTIX.com. You're going to get to have a couple of opportunities. Yes, there's a big time televised show, but there's also a house show, a really rare house show for AEW. And I got to tell you, if I was a fan and I was in Australia, that's the one I would want to go to, Tony, is the house show.
Yeah, because, and I've been to some of our house shows that we did in the past, and they are a lot of fun because the pressure of TV is off, you know? It's a lot of pressure to put together a TV show. There really is timing and going to breaks and hitting certain times and everything, and a lot of eyes on you. And, you know, the guys and girls feel the pressure. But this will be unlike that. And so it should be a lot of fun. In
Here's
Brisbane,
what I like about the house shows too, Tony, is, you know, if you're going to a TV taping, you're not the reason they're there. They're there to shoot a TV show.
right?
The primary purpose of everything that's happening at a TV taping or a PLE is to get it in that camera shot so they can broadcast it out to the rest of the world.
Right.
So the talent and the cameramen and the lighting and everything sort of plays to TV. But on a house show, man, they're playing to you.
Right.
And I just think that's such a fundamental difference. I hope if you're thinking about going to the house show and you weren't sold on it, that you'll reconsider, because it's the thing I miss the most in all of wrestling right now. WWE and AEW almost never do them. So you've got an opportunity here to see AEW, maybe like you've never seen it before. Go grab a ticket at AEWTIX.com.
House shows are where I became a wrestling fan, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So Harley Cameron next week, and then we're working on some more as well.
How fun did that schedule look, though, Tony? I think we've got a lot of really cool shit lined up.
You got a lot of really cool stuff. You've done a great job with it.
And we're going to have fun this weekend. Can't wait to see you, Tony. Friday night, it's going to be a blast. Make plans to join us and hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and we'll see you next week with Harley Cameron right here on What Happened When. Tony, it looks like it's about that time.
A lot of questions will be answered coming up at Top Guy Weekend this weekend. And here are the questions that the fans want to know. How much will Tony Schiavone bitch? How much will Eric Bischoff complain on the bus? How poofy will Jeff Jarrett's bouffant hairdo be? Who will JBL stretch? How much will Conrad eat? And how loud will Dave Silva fart? The answer's coming up this weekend on Top Guy Weekend. Until then, we'll see you next week on What Happened When. Wednesdays on the LibSim Podcasting Network. But Mondays, we come to you exclusively and ad-free on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.